All right, it's painting time, which means it's time to learn more about new supplies and new routines for the painting studio. Every day when we have a work day in painting, you're going to need a palette, a smock, some water, your canvas, brushes, a blue towel for a rag, and of course, paint. So where do you find all this stuff? You are going to have a set of brushes. Each student will have a set of brushes that you can find in these containers right here. And when you look closer, you'll see that each one of those tubes is numbered. So this spot is where you're going to pick up your brushes at the beginning of each class, and where you'll put them back at the end of the day after you wash them. If you need different brushes, if you're interested in, for example, a really tiny brush or just a different shape, you can find more of them in the closet in this container here, and then just put them back in your spot at the end of class, and you can just add them to your brush collection. The blue towels that are next to the brushes, you'll also grab one of those, and you're going to use it as your painting rag so that you can wipe off your brush in between when you're switching colors using your brush. Paint, acrylic paint specifically, does not come out of your clothes. So we're going to wear smocks when we're in the painting studio, and you can find a smock in this bin right here, looking very fashionable, of course. You can also bring in your own smock and have that option as well. If you do get paint on your uniform, it's going to be really important that you go over to the sink right away, wash it out with soap and water. If it dries, it really won't come out. So that's why wearing smocks is going to be important and just make our life easier. Over at the sink above in the cabinet is where you can find palettes, also where you can find containers. I'm always looking for more of these, so if you've got yogurt tubs at home, bring them in. We could use more, but that's where you'll find the ones that we do have in class. The paints, you're going to want to put paint on your palette, so you'll find the paints in these trays in the closet, and the first couple people that come into the room will pull these out for everybody and put them out on the table. So you'll see that they're in the primary colors, yellow, blue, red, and then we've got black and white up here as well. You don't need a ton of paint on your palette. You'll see right here, that's about the amount that I would start with in this well right here. You can take as many colors as you think you're gonna need and want, but about this much is a good amount to put in your palette for each color, knowing you can always go back and get more paint. But there's a lot of paint that's wasted in the painting studio, so I don't want that for you guys. So just use a small amount, about the size of a marble. Once you start painting, you're going to be painting on canvas paper, and that paper is going to be attached to a board with masking tape all the way around the edges so that you have a border like this. You'll put your name on the masking tape somewhere, and your canvas paper is just always going to stay on the board until you're finished with the project. There is a front side and a back side to the canvas, and it does matter. So when you put it on the board, double check with me if you're not sure. At the end of every class, after we've spent all that time enjoying painting and learning about color, we're going to clean up. And we're going to need 15 full minutes for it because it takes a while. And the first thing you can do is just take that canvas board and put it in the critique space leaning against the wall. Always make sure it's got your name on it. Blue towels are going to be resourceful and save the environment and use them again. So even though they're going to have paint on them, just put them back in that basket. They'll dry out. It's a durable material. Washing brushes, this is huge. Paint brushes, I have seen so many go to the paintbrush graveyard. Please save brushes from the landfill, because just like paint doesn't come out of clothes, it does not come out of paintbrush bristles when they're not cleaned out. So use soap and water, thoroughly wash those bristles and rinse the brush until there's no color running out in the water. Super duper important because you're brushes and you want to be able to have that resource. The sink's going to be crowded, so at the beginning of class, it'll be a few people's jobs to fill up these buckets that are across from the sink with soapy water and put them somewhere else in the room so that we have a second wash station. And at those wash stations, whether the sink or the buckets, you're going to be cleaning your palettes. and rinsing and dumping out your water containers. So the palettes you're going to put in the drying rack at the end, and try to get off as much paint as possible. You can do that using these green sponges. The yellow sponges you'll recognize from the ceramics room, and you don't want to use those because we need them in the ceramics room and we don't want them clogged with paint. So just the green sponges, please. Those of you who sign up for the cleaning the tables job, here's some supplies that you can use to help with that project. And all of you, I know, are mature enough to realize that what's happening in these images is not okay. So these brushes, they're not where they're supposed to go. They're not in the spot where you pick them up at the beginning of class. And these water containers and palettes and brushes and all this paint that's in the sink really should not be there at the end of class. So thank you in advance for making sure that none of those things happen and that all of your supplies go back where you got them, and that the sink is free and clear of all of this paint at the end of class. And that'll be somebody's job that you can sign up for. So speaking of jobs, as soon as you're finished with this video, go to Canvas and click on a link to claim a painting studio job. And super easy, you can find it on our Canvas homepage underneath the painting module. Just click on Painting Studio Job Signups. And it'll look just like this. You'll notice there's a list of jobs right here, and it has the number of people that can hold that job, and then some of the jobs say the first people to arrive, so that's an automatic one, or these two of wiping down the area around where you're working, your chair, your easel, that's everybody. Putting away your easels, your drawing horses, your stools, that's everybody. But once you finish taking care of yourself, you're also going to do one of these other jobs. So let's say you're going to dump and rinse out the wash buckets at the end of class. So you can just put your name right there, and that's all you need to do. And when it comes time to do your job, you're ready. So thanks so much, and can't wait to paint with you.